What's up, y'all? It's everybody's favorite Unk, and today we got some ninja shit.
I don't quit, and I don't go back on my word. That's my ninja way.
That's right, we got some ninja shit, and if you know anything about me, man, you know I love all things martial arts. Anything that has to do with ninjas, samurais, Japanese feudal times. I am just a slut for it. And shout out to the algorithm, man, because honestly, I would have never found out about this shit if it wasn't for the Instagram algorithm recognizing my patterns and giving me a suggested follow to the Fwoosh page. Now, I started collecting again about a year and a half ago for those of you who are new to the channel, and I had never followed Fwoosh's YouTube channel, but after I got these figures, it was an instant follow for me. Now, this is not going to be my normal type of review because it is 3 figures, it's not just one, and I am not an expert when it comes to icons or articulated icons, any lines that Fwoosh is behind. But what I can tell you is the good, the bad, the ugly, the amazing, and everything you need to know before you hop into this line, just like I did. So let's take a closer look at these beautiful action figures. All right, now before we hop into this thing, man, Fwoosh is having a big March Madness sale right now. And that's part of the reason why I hopped into the line, man. I got the, now I hope I'm saying this right, the Seijun, the Solitaire, and the Shibito. Now, the Seijun and the Solitaire were both $19.99. They were on sale, they were 50% off. And the Shibito was $23.99. It was 40% off. And man, I figured this is such a great deal. These figures look so good. Why not get all 3? So I got all 3. And I'm gonna tell you right now, man, it's definitely worth the money, especially being an independent toy line, because like I've said many times before, the independent toy lines are the backbone of this industry, and we have to support them if we want the toy industry to get that much stronger. But with that being said, man, I ordered them on a Tuesday and they got here by a Friday. So pretty quick shipping by Fwoosh. And man, I'm gonna tell you right now, the packaging on these things is awesome. I am a sucker for just keeping it simple, keeping it straight to the point, keeping it clean, not overdoing it. And the packaging on these bad boys looks awesome. I love it. Just straight up black. It says icons. It's got a render of the figure on the back. It's got the box contents. It tells you all the accessories that come with it. It's got the social media, and it keeps it real simple. It's got that big Fwoosh logo in the back. Perfect. I love it. I love boxing like this. You can see the figure, the box isn't too confusing, and it gets straight to brass tacks. And I love that shit, because 9 times out of 10, we want to crack these bad boys open and get them out. Unless you're an inbox collector, which if you are an inbox collector, it still looks very, very awesome to keep inside the box. Now, as usual, I'm going to open these bad boys up on camera, and I'm going to show you straight out the box my first impressions. So let's get it cracking. You feel me? All right, man. Now, fresh out of the box, all 3 of these figures look so good. The details are amazing on these figures. The aesthetic is on point. And before I get too far into it, I'm just gonna say straight off the bat, all 3 of these figures in the aesthetic department, they get a 10 out of 10 for me. There are quite a bit of QC issues on the most expensive figure out of the batch that I got, and that is the Shibito. And that's the one I was the most excited about because he kind of reminds me of Law from Tekken, you know, that typical Bruce Lee-esque character. I might just call him Law for the rest of the video because it's easier to say than Shibito. But yeah, man, I had a lot of QC issues on him. Number 1, there was some big paint mishaps. It looks like in the packaging from that scarf laying against his back and his upper tricep area, there was a little bit of paint bleeding from the scarf onto the arm, and it's very noticeable, and it's very bad. My girlfriend does not paint her fingernails that often, so I do not have acetone or fingernail polish remover, but I think I'm gonna try to use that to get some of it off. I tried a little bit of hot water and some of it scratched off a little bit, but it was a little tough. So that was really disappointing, especially this being the one that I wanted the most. Also, on the wrist gauntlets, there is some paint chipping as well. And I said this about the Sergeant Slaughter G.I. Joe Classified figure, that some of the paint apps on it look like a bad custom. And even though these are painted so well and they have such a great wash on them, there are parts of the Shibito in particular that look like a bad custom, that look like something I might do just because it's gonna be on my shelf, which I'm not too disappointed in. I will give it a small pass with the Fwoosh Icons line because, man, I love ninjas and I love these figures after playing around with them a little bit. But yeah, just slight QC issues. On top of that, not just with the Shibito, but also with the Seijun, however you say his name, I'm just gonna call him the Samurai, as well as with the Samurai. Some of the interchanging of the parts was a little wonky. The hands in particular on the Shibito, or the Law, they pop off very easily, especially the grabbing hands. All the other hands fit on pretty well, but the grabbing hands, I had to fiddle with them a lot. They were popping off real easily. On the Samurai, the helmet that goes onto his head, it has a peg that pegs into the back of his head, and it's very, very difficult to get it to stay when you pop it down onto him. Now, in this video that I'm showing you, you can't really tell that much because it actually kind of stays when you pop it right on there and don't move it. But as soon as you start to articulate his head, man, that thing kind of moves around a lot. Not the best QC issues as far as that's concerned. A little bit of heat probably would help, because especially as well on that little piece that goes on the front of his helmet, that piece you have to peg in as well. I heated up his helmet with the hair dryer and it popped right in. I'm gonna try that method with the peg hole for his helmet as well. But yeah, I was having a lot of trouble with that. It was a little annoying. Also, you can pop the hair off of the Shibito, and you can also pop the hairpiece off of the Samurai. So that's really cool because I can kind of interchange hairstyles. I can give Law the little ponytail, and I can also give the Samurai the the traditional Bruce Lee hairstyle as well. So that's really cool. So a little bit of hair dryer work, and I've been trying to get this armor off, but it's really tough to get off, and I don't want to like cut it or anything because this is the only one I have. So I'm probably going to order another one. But yeah, the armor definitely comes off, and he has some good articulation under there for sure, like all the other figures. But man, yeah, I'm gonna have to get another one of these because I really want to get that armor off, just so I can like maybe pose him without it, or use another figure with this armor on it, because that's a cool little accessory piece right there. But yeah, I'm not gonna pull it off with this one. It's not worth it. I like this figure. I don't want to mess up the armor. That being said, even though some of this stuff kind of pegs off easily and is not the best QC, it makes sense because this line is one of those lines that you want to kit bash with. This is one of those lines that you want to mix and match and swap with other figures. And because these parts come off so easily, I like that, because when you are kit bashing things, it makes it easier. You're not afraid to break the figure, and everything's just a little bit smoother. So that is cool. That is cool. Beside the fact that it is a little bit annoying to fidget around with the hands on the Shibito to put some of the weapons and whatnot onto him. But yeah, man, besides that, out of the box, man, this shit is good. Like, the paint apps on this are just amazing. The washes that they put on every single part of these figures, they make them look like they're straight out of the feudal times in Japan. And it is so, so good to see. I love it when a company pays attention to detail, and the attention to detail on the armor on the Samurai, on the wash on the pants, of all three figures. Man, the face sculpts. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, my favorite figure out of the three is the Solitaire. And I didn't think it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be the Law, but the QC issues kind of put it down. But the Solitaire is my favorite figure out of the three. The face sculpts are so good. The way they did the mask on this Solitaire is so sick. Like the little skull for the lower part of his face, it looks so good. And the eyes literally look amazing. The eyes on the Shibito and the Solitaire look so awesome. I am digging it so much. These are some of the best face sculpts that I have seen in a minute. And on the Samurai, when I ordered this guy off of the website, when I saw the pictures of him, the pictures don't do him justice, because I saw the pictures of him and I was really excited about him because I like the armor and I love Samurai armor. But the face, I was like, man, I'm kind of bummed on that face. I hope it's better than this in real life. And man, it is better in spades. The pictures on the website for the Fwoosh do not do the Samurai's face sculpt any justice. These face sculpts are a 10 out of 10, man. Aesthetically, like I said, these figures look so good, and they're detailed to the T, from the armor on the Samurai to the way that the soft plastic or rubber, whatever you want to call it, on the gun holster and the waist parts and even the harness on the Solitaire is done. Everything is done so well, man. There's literally, besides the paint QC issues on Shibito, there is literally no fuck ups on any of the rest of the figures. So I think maybe I got a bad one, but honestly, I'm just gonna buy another one. I don't even want my money back. I like this one, even though it does have some problems. I'm just gonna buy another one because I want to start kit bashing this line. So yeah, man, aesthetically, these are some of the best action figures out right now. period. All right, now, so I've decided for articulation moving forward, not just for videos like this where I review multiple figures from a line, but videos in general where I'm doing a review. I'm not going to go over every single point of articulation in the figure. I'm just going to show you guys some videos, some photos and whatnot, just poses of it so you can see how it articulates around, because that's what we really care about. I mean, it's cool if a figure has an ankle pivot that goes full 360, but you're not going to use that. So I'm going to show you guys how it looks in real time. And when it comes to articulation, these guys are pretty solid. Now, at first, when I was messing around with them, the one thing that I noticed that I didn't like was that they didn't have butterfly joints. I'm a big stickler for butterfly joints. I love a great butterfly joint, and I love me some great toe articulation. Now, that comes from SH Figurearts getting me back into collecting. And for that reason, I have been kind of spoiled to get great butterfly joints and toe articulation. But I will tell you right now off bat, these do not need butterfly joints because you can get their arms into every single pose that you need to, especially that two-handed sword pose. You can get it perfectly on the samurai. I thought I couldn't at first, especially with all the armor in the way, but man, the bicep swivel just makes it work perfectly, and you get great range on that normal shoulder joint already, so you don't need butterfly joints. Toe articulation don't need it at all either, because the ankle pivot slash swivel is perfect on these. It's not too steep. It is literally just right. They all do the full splits. They all have the thigh swivel, double jointed knees, double jointed elbows, all pinless. Man, the torso articulation is awesome as well. You get a really good crunch on all three figures. If you take that armor off the samurai as well, you get a crunch on him as well. Man, like literally the articulation is awesome on these. The one thing that's disappointing, man, is those wrists. The wrist ball joint that you pop it in on, man, especially on the Shibito, like I said, is really shallow, especially with those gauntlets on his wrist. It's hard to really move it around without it popping off, and that's annoying. But the articulation is really good on every other part of these figures. I will say the hinged ball peg on the head, I'm not a huge fan of. I do prefer a double ball peg because you get more attitude and tilt for dynamic posing as far as kind of showing a little bit of personality. But that hinged ball peg, the good thing about that is that it's great for kit bashing. It goes great with Marvel Legends. It goes great with G.I. Joes as well. And when it comes to figures like these, I don't mind it not being a double ball peg because, man, like, yeah, I want to fucking kit bash these. I want these to go with some of my other lines, and most other lines similar to this use a hinge ball peg. So I'm not mad at the hinge ball peg. I gave the aesthetic a 10. I'm gonna give the articulation an 8. It'd be a little bit better. If they had to put butterfly joints in, it wouldn't have hurt it. You know what I'm saying? But I do like that they left it out to preserve the sculpt. But yeah, it wouldn't have hurt it. And you know, I always want toe articulation. So articulation, I'm gonna give it an 8. One more thing I forgot to add when it comes to aesthetic is that these guys are not huge. They are small. Ninjas are supposed to be small and compact, sneaky, you know what I'm saying, hiding in the shadows. These guys have the perfect body size to me for that. So I love the scale of these figures because they are ninjas, man. Ninjas supposed to be little, they little. Now accessories, bro. Accessories, man. You get accessories out the wazoo, especially with the Shibito. But we're gonna start off with my guy. We're gonna start off with Solitaire, man. Solitaire gets 2 katanas or swords, whatever you want to call them. He gets a pistol and he gets a silencer for his pistol. Now, here is an issue I have. The silencer for the pistol that Solitaire comes with, it doesn't really peg into the pistol, man. It kind of just like sits there flobby wobby. So if you kind of like accidentally move the figure, the silencer's gonna fall out. So, I mean, it's cool to have a silencer, but if it doesn't work, then why put it in there? And the thing that sucks is like, yeah, you can super glue it in, but then you can't holster his pistol. So I don't know if that's the situation with all of them, but another QC thing that's just really frustrating. And, you know, I can give the QC issues a pass when I got the figure for $20 and it's from an indie toy line. So yeah, I can give QC issues a pass in that case, but yeah, the silencer doesn't really work. You get 2 sets of goggles, you get a red set of goggles, and you get a green set of goggles, which is cool. It's cool to have options, and like you can rock those goggles any way you want, man. You can, you know what I'm saying, put them on the top of his head, put them on his eyes, have them on his neck, and then of course you get all the little like soft goods that are on him, the little soft plastic that's on him. You get his pistol holster, and you also get his little harness that's on him as well. So great accessories when it comes to Solitaire. And then looking at the samurai, you get 2 swords for him, man. You get 2 katanas. You get a really long katana, and you get a shorter katana, which is great. I love that long katana, man. It's so menacing and savage. You get his helmet and the little piece that pegs into the helmet as well. You get a mask to put on him. You get one of those traditional samurai masks, and you also get like just a mask that covers the lower 3/4 of his face as well, that has the bottom of a skull. That looks really, really cool. Both sculpted really, really well. You can also peg out his ponytail, like I said before, and you get, I didn't say this with Solitaire as well, but you get the little piece that pegs in and put his sword on him. The cool thing about the peg sword pieces, you can either peg it on their back or on their side when it comes to the samurai. When it comes to Solitaire, you can peg it on his back or on his tailbone as well. So that's cool. One thing I forgot to mention with the samurai is like, going back to aesthetic, man. The aesthetic is so good on these things that I forget little things, you know what I'm saying, and I have to come back to it as I'm talking about the figures. But you can even see like the outline of his toes sculpt into the socks, like on his like sandals. Like, yo, like they really didn't miss a detail at all on these figures. But anyway, getting back to accessories, you get a good spread of accessories with the samurai as well. And then for Shibito, man, he gets a whole lot of stuff. He gets that staff that's kind of like a monk staff. He gets extra hands that have that kind of like Naruto jutsu sign. He also gets closed fists because he's a martial artist, you know what I'm saying? He got those hands, bro. He got those fucking hands. He gets 2 daggers, and he gets like 2 like mini scythes. I guess they're like mini scythes or axes, whatever you call them. I like all the accessories he comes with. I don't want to ask for more because it was a good spread, but I wish he would have came with nunchucks. If this guy had came with nunchucks, I would have rather had that than the daggers. I don't mind the daggers. The daggers kind of remind me of the Ninja Turtles every time I see them. But I feel like nunchucks would have went perfect for this guy. But yeah, man, that's the one thing I wish we would have got with this guy, with some nunchucks. But other than that, man, accessories are great for all 3 of these figures. Man, the only thing they could have added, like I said, was nunchucks for Shibito. Maybe like an extra head sculpt here and there, but this line is so kit bashable that I get it. You know what I'm saying? If you have some of those army builders, you can swap. You know, they have the arm packs, all those things. So maybe like extra head swaps would have been cool. Maybe like some effect pieces for like their kicks and punches, but man, other than that, the accessories are awesome. I'm going to give the accessories. I mean, the accessories are great of an 8 as well, man. Like, I normally don't give number grades to everything, but I feel like for these figures, I have to, because you really do get the total package, especially if you take advantage of the sale that's going on. I would have been a little bit more pissed about the QC issues if that sale was not going on, if that extremely steep sale was not going on. But man, for the price, bro, come on now. And yeah, man, look, final thoughts. This is what I'm going to say about this line, bro. I took a chance. I saw it on my Instagram page. I followed the page, saw they were having a sale, took advantage of the sale. I got 3 great figures for $70, bro. You can't beat it for the value. You get a crazy spread of accessories. You get literally some of the most detailed action figures that are out right now for the price point. Like, there is a wash not only on the pants or the gauntlets, but on the skin. The skin has shading on the Shibito. The outfit on Solitaire has shading on it as well. Like, yo, literally, these figures are just super, super dope, man. I don't know what else I can say. The kit bash potential is endless. Like, after I record this, I'm literally going to go back to the Fwoosh website and order more. I might order 3 more figures. I might try to order a couple army builder ninjas. Like, yo, like, this shit is cool, man. If you're into anything that is martial arts adjacent, or even if you love the army build ninjas, anything like that, man, this line is definitely for you. So yeah, man, if I was gonna give this line, if I was gonna give all 3 of these figures a number grade out of 10, I'm gonna go a 9, man. Even with the QC issues, I'm gonna go a 9. I'm gonna cop another Shibito, and I'm gonna see how that one does as far as QC, and we're gonna see where it goes from there, man. You know what? I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna give this line, I'm gonna give all 3 of these an 8.5 out of 10 because of those QC issues from Shibito. But yeah, man, what do you guys think of the Fwoosh icons or the articulated icons if you have them as well? If you don't have them, are you planning on picking them up? And if you do have them, what do you think about them? Leave it in the comments below. And remember, the independent companies are the backbone of the industry. If we want it to grow, if we all want to flourish, we have to support the independent creators. And remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Put on that notification bell so you don't miss a video every time I drop one. And until next time, peace.